Dude, check this out, baby. Cool, boy. Oh, shit. Nah, baby, sexy, dog, for real. Hey, look who's in front of me, man. Cool, boy. Yo, what's going on, baby? So shit. Shit, man, what's today, man? Man, it's Saturday, man. Happy Saturday, baby. Hope all y'all have a good day. Alright? So shit, so I tell you what, man, so no, it's been a good minute since I've been on here. Really just been going through it. You know what I mean? Like, well, first off, I'm just gonna say I knew TikTok was coming back. But shit. But, before I go home and, get settled in and shit, I really want to just come out here and, say some shit. So, at some point in time, like, let's say you decide that you want to be better, that you want to do good, and you want to switch your mindset in a sense. When you reflect back and you look back at how things used to be and shit, like, the other day, like, I was just going through my old shit and looking through, like, my older videos and thinking, like, damn, like, that dude was out of there. You know what I mean? Like, real shit. But at the same time, it's like, that probably was, like, when I was looking at it, I was like, damn, like, that's, like, raw fucking, you know what I mean? Emotions, raw fucking, like, because the energy is changing inside when you decide to actually go inside yourself instead of looking for an outside source, right? It's like the change is inside of you and you can feel it, right? But it's like you didn't or you couldn't figure out a way to fucking, you know what I mean? Like you couldn't find a way to fucking let it out the way that you feel inside. Like, how I am, like, right now talking to you guys is completely different from, you know what I'm saying, like, my older videos and shit. So pretty much the type of energy I've been in is just, just staying still. You know what I'm saying? Like, being cool and, like, looking around at everything, you know what I'm saying, in and outside of work and just accepting everything that's happening in front of me, man, and really just learning how to handle yourself in certain situations. You know what I mean? Because in the past, like, when I look back and shit, like, I was very, like, I would get triggered very easily, to the point where it's like, like, would lash out. Or if I didn't like what somebody said, or, you know what I'm saying, like, I just, say my piece. But, like, now it's like, like, if somebody say something or somebody do something, you know what I mean? I'm just like, it's cool. Work is dope, man. Like, they actually have me in training to, move up in that shit. Which I love it, you know what I mean? But in the process of going through that shit, even till today, like, I've seen myself being put in different situations where it's like, you're dealing with a lot of temps, right? Like the temp agency and shit, and you're got people coming and going all the time. But, like, as you are put in position to fucking show people what they need to know, to communicate with people, you come to the realization that you can't talk to everybody the same. And with me, it's like, so I use astrology, right? Like, real shit. So when I see people come through, you know what I mean? Like, I feel the vibe, you know what I mean? Like, I talk a little bit and shit just to kind of, you know what I'm saying, understand more of how they are and shit. And I'm just come out like, when's your birthday? Or, like, what's your sign and shit? And then, like, they'll tell me. And I'm like, oh, Sagittarius. And it's crazy, like, because when I look at, you know what I'm saying, like, the way I go about my shit in the sense of how I navigate at work and just, I look at everything from an astrological sense, you know what I mean? Like, pretty much from the outside looking in, right? Or, like, with most people in a higher position, like, depending on, their experiences throughout their work life and shit, they, look at things like by themselves, or where everything is just self, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do things my way and I'm telling you to do it the way I want to do it. If you don't like it, then fuck you and get the fuck out of here type shit. And then with me, it's like, damn, like I don't, like I seen that firsthand, you know what I'm saying, with a couple of people. But like when you just, like you don't really say anything verbally. Like you just go over there and you just say shit with your actions. You know what I mean? Like if I see someone getting fucking cast away, you know what I mean? Like I'll be like, I see somebody bringing up them to us and being like, hey, you're gonna have this dude. It's like, all right, cool. So at one point in time, like I remember just sitting back and just thinking like, like damn, like we got 2 Leos, 2 Sagittarius, we got an Aquarius, and me being Scorpio, and then you got our supervisor, man, she a Cancer, man. So we had like one dude Capricorn, man. You got Capricorn in the mix. So it's like, with different signs and shit, and it's like, they'll tell me like what do you know about like Sagittarius or Leo or Gemini and shit like that, right? And I'll just be like, I just tell them what I know. And then they'll look at me and they're like, damn, like what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like they resonate with the shit. I don't know, man, like it's just dope because when you help people better understand certain things, different things, you know what I mean, that they're not used to, but that it hits them inside. And it's like, in a way, it's like you also gain that respect by also pushing out positive energy, by also pushing out positive messages. Like, so for example, I remember one day, like I got some like bad news and shit, like, you know what I mean, not that long ago. And I remember, like, I had this dry erase board, like an old ass dry erase board, you know what I mean? Like, and I didn't have a dry erase marker, but I just grabbed the Sharpie and shit, and I started writing on it. You know what I mean? To the point where it was like I was writing messages and shit. And I remember, like, writing about obstacles. When you deal with obstacles, when you deal with shit that's outside of your control. You know what I mean? That it's like, if you can go over there and go fix that shit, or you can go over there and make it right with, with you, your essence, your energy, you know what I mean, and just change it at will, then you would go do it. You know what I mean? If you really feel like that inside. But it's like when when you looking at it and like, however this shit's gonna play out is out of your control. And I remember like, at that point, you gotta learn to accept the reality that's around you. And understand that, a lot of times, whether it's karma or whether it's test, because you decided that you want to elevate, you decided that you want to be better, you decided to change your mindset, you decided to stay out of trouble, you decided to invest in yourself, doing the shadow work, doing the education on yourself, learning different shit to the point where you start building fundamentals in your mind, looking at things from different perspectives, looking at things from different angles, and being able to empathize with certain people, where it's like, you see someone coming into where you at on some negative energy shit, whether they're pissed off, whether they're agitated, frustrated, whatever, and you ask for their sign, right? And then let's just say this female is like, I'm a Sagittarius. And just out of impulse, she was just constantly like venting to me, like blam, 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 And I told her, I was like, I'm a Scorpio. And, like, I tell you what, like, what's going on with you? And she fucking, for like 15 minutes straight, like I'm telling you, like she just fucking let all this shit out. And I took all that shit in me, man. And I remember like feeling how she was feeling inside of me. Like I felt her fucking frustration. I felt how pissed off she was. But she was just relieved to just let the shit out. And seeing her energy change. Seeing a smile on her face when at one point in time, if she had continued to go the route she was going, like either she getting kicked out, she getting fired, or she just would miss out on a good opportunity to gain stability, or opportunities to navigate, to find certain people that can help her with her growth, right? So, seeing her Like cool, calm, collected, happy, laughing, joking, how I like everyone to be. Like if I'm put in a place where I'm having to be in charge of a bunch of people, it's like I don't give a fuck about the money. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Like if I'm gonna be in charge, I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, show everyone how important energy is. But I'm not just gonna tell you, I'm gonna show it with my actions. Like I'm gonna show it when you decide that you wanna talk to me a good way or a bad way. Like I'm gonna show you. Like, okay, like I get it, I understand. Or it's like, for an example, like there's a dude who's in Aquarius. You know, daddy's in Aquarius. So it's like, you know, they gotta logically make sense of shit before they can get emotional, before they can make fucking sense of shit, before they actually take action. It has to logically make sense to them. Like that's pretty much their go-to, in a sense, you know what I mean? So, but when I saw him at that time, it was like he was in and out of the work area because he would come work and be an asset to the team. But it's like he would like kind of take off for a little bit. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be like all day and shit, but he would take off for a little bit. And it's like he'll be gone for a little bit, come back, work, and do the same shit over and over again for like a good couple of days. And I remember like hearing people, you know, and their opinions on how they feel about this individual, right? Oh, like he's not or he's like a bullshitter, or like fuck him, this and that, blah blah. And I remember like you know, like the supervisor asking me, like, you know, like how do you feel about this shit? Cause she's a Cancer. So I remember like, you know, telling her, like explaining to her about, you know, how Aquarius are, how they gotta think logically and shit. And if he's actually dealing with shit outside of work to the point where it's like so much, like whether it's anxiety, whether it's the fear, or whether, you know what I'm saying, like he's not going to be able to truly tap into his own power. He's not going to be able to feel confident in himself to be like, you know what, I got y'all, like let's go. You know what I mean? And I remember looking like, you know, maybe he's having a hard time on dealing with the shit at a workplace. And it's like everyone expects this individual to handle that shit, to keep working, to keep home at home. As if he had already has that experience in him already. What if this is the opportunity for him to gain that experience? That's why I'm on trip. You go take off, man, go do your thing. When you come back, man, I got you. Like, hey, man, help me out with this, cool. You want to take off? Go ahead, do your thing, right? And I remember, like, her looking at me and she being like, you know, like, I like how you said that shit. And she's like, it makes sense. And she's like, I see things that not a lot of people see. I was like, well, that's the Cancer in you. You, like, with water signs, it has to emotionally feel good first before we can even think logically. Before we can even, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't put in work in yourself already, you could think logically first, and you know what I'm saying? But, like, even for me, like, me putting work in myself to be the individual, for me to be the individual you see right now as opposed to how I used to be not that long ago, it's like, I can look at things a lot more logically now, you know what I mean, in the sense of how I navigate. But it's like, if I don't feel right, baby, like, I gotta go. You know what I mean? Or, like, I gotta do what I feel like I gotta do in order to either rectify the situation or just, you know what I'm saying, cool, detach. You know what I mean? And when I learned about detachment, that experience in itself was just, when the experience is so raw and it's so, like it kind of scars you in a way. Not in a bad way. It's just, like, you're going to remember that shit for the rest of your life. It's like, you keep that experience in mind in the sense of, you know, when you start learning to detach from certain shit, to remind you about that type of fundamental. But like with him, a couple of days later, he's coming into work, man, and he's just blam, 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 blam. You know what I mean? And I'm over here thinking like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's an Aquarius, like, in his power in a sense. Where it's like, because everything, he's got his head right. Dude's out there making shit happen where it's like he's doing shit that I'm not even asking him to do. And the shit that I was asking him to do before, like he was handling that shit. And I remember like being, other than my supervisor, I remember being there and just sitting there just like, damn, like, feeling good. Because like, when you don't give up on somebody in that sense, when you see somebody struggling mentally, when you used to struggle mentally in the past, and seeing them bounce back. Like, I bounced back plenty of times, right? But to see that in somebody else, because of the energy that we push out, in the sense of how, like the good energy we push, like that shit, I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? And it's like when I go to work and shit, right? Like, in a way, it's like that's my place where it's like, I'm going through different experiences that's actually changing me inside. Like, I'm going through experiences where it's like certain reminders of certain lessons that I was supposed to learn in the past, that it's like it's coming back to light in a sense. But it's like because of the work I put in, and you know what I'm saying, the people that helped me in the sense of my healing journey and shit. It's like those are individuals, and those experiences are people that I remember. Like, I can't. And when I'm going through certain experiences where it's like, like, to where you're tested. And I remember writing the word down on the board, man, is obstacles. Right now, you are in a test, in a simulation, where it's like, everywhere you look around you, that building that's over there, this parking lot, these cars that's driving all over the place, you know what I mean? This cell phone that I'm fucking doing this shit on, you know what I mean? Like, the equipment we use to even do this shit, you know what I mean? Like, real shit. Like, all these are physical manifestations of the mind. That's how powerful this shit is. When you start looking at things like that, and looking at people, there are all souls here. And everyone has the power to create. Everyone has the power to manifest whatever reality they want to. The question is, are you willing to go deep inside yourself to find it? Are you willing to face your demons, your anxieties, your fears, the negative self-talk, the ego? You know what I mean? Or like when you're at the edge of a cliff and you're just like, man, like I don't want to be here no more. Facing that situation. Like, and I don't even really think about it much, but like right now, like when I think about it, when you want to call it quit, when you want to fucking throw the towel and shit, when you just want to say, fuck it, man, I'm done. And then I'll look at, you know what I'm saying, my life and shit. I got daddy, which is why I admitted myself. And I remember, like, the other day, like, looking back at this shit and crying. Because of how scary it is when you really lose your fucking mind. Like, to me, because everyone has been through shit. Everyone's seen shit. Everyone, you know what I mean? And, like, probably has traumas and all that shit. Like, I'm not, degrading anybody's character. I'm not putting anybody down based off of, like, we're not comparing traumas. You know what I mean? But what I can say is one of the worst experiences that I went through was when I lost my mind. And the crazy part of it is most people can't get that shit back. Like, I still know people who still in that fucking shit. Because it's not that they can't let go, it's because they can't find what they need to hang on to. Find yourself. Take time. You don't have to do it every day, you know what I mean? But, like, take time. Whether it's 30 seconds, a minute, 5 hours, I don't give a shit. but take time to look within yourself. Stop relying on outside sources to hold you, to put their hands out in order for you to just to dump all your trash in. Right now, we're living in a test. That's what the shit that's going on right now. In physical, right now, when you watching Joel and his shit right now, like, this is a test. And, I don't got all the answers, but one thing I can tell you is walk with grace. You know what I mean? Like, you could be dealing with the most fucked up shit in the world. You know what I mean? But, like, walking in grace. Walking as if everything is still cool. You know what I mean? But it's like knowing that, like, you pushing positive energy. You pushing positive shit. Like, and helping people. Like, the universe sees that. And that shit will always be reciprocated. 100-fold. Like, real shit. Nowadays, it's like, when you enjoy the process more, when you enjoy being in the present moment more, to the point where you're just like, man, I'm just going to go through the experiences, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then when you go home, you know what I mean? And you're little, I call it my Scorpio day. You know what I mean? But it's like, you go over there, you do your reading and shit and do your books and, like, do some studying, man. You gotta do some studying. There's some days where it's like I don't even do none of that. There's days where I just go with the flow through the day and just, kick back and just enjoy yourself too. You know what I mean? Like it's good to work on yourself and to push energy to, like, invest in yourself, but you also gotta make time to enjoy this reality too. You know what I mean? Some people work too hard where it's like, it's like sometimes take a chill pill, sit back for a second, man. You know what I mean? Enjoy yourself. Walking with grace, because how you feel is justifiable. Whether you're in the right or wrong, you know what I mean? Good or bad, doesn't fucking matter. Like, how you feel is justifiable. It's how you navigate in the present moment, in the physical realm. You know what I'm saying? How you have your mind and how you navigate, that's going to dictate how everything's going to plan out. But understanding that you have the power within yourself to get out of that situation permanently. But you also have the power to make that part of the process hard. You know what I mean? A lot of times we don't understand that a lot of the issues we have is due to the poor choices we made. And really just acknowledgement. You know what I mean? What is it? I want to say it's, next Wednesday, next Thursday, some shit. We got the new moon, baby, in Aquarius. And it's like, with Aquarius, man, like, I seen the experience with seeing an Aquarius bounce back, at work and shit. Like, I thought that was fucking dope. Daddy being in Aquarius, man, he's fucking going to be 10. February 9th, baby. Like, for real. Like, just saying that, man. Like, he's my only kid, man. I ain't got no other kids, man. But, like, dude, gonna be 10. We talking double digits. You know what I mean? But 10 years. Like, I remember when he was babies. And fucking... But, I mean... Going through the trade. And going through life experiences through that phase, too, right? When you're growing up and shit. Like, Daddy was there for all that shit. He was there before I got in the trade. He was there throughout my whole transition and all that shit. And, you know what I mean? But he was also there when I decided to change my mindset, too. And he, even with my videos and shit, like, he always wanted to be a part in it. And it's fucking dope. Like, I'm going to make a special video for him, you know what I mean, for his birthday and shit. But it's like, now's the time to take it to the next level. Now's the time to tap into your creativity. I don't know why I'm saying this. I'm just saying this shit. But, like, so the other day, right, I was in the car with Daddy and shit. And So he tells me, he's like, hey dad, why don't you put the song that you made a long time ago? So I made a song, like, I want to say it's like 2-3 years ago or some shit. It's called Hope. So this is before, like, I started working on myself and all that, like when I was still drinking and shit. And it's like every time I hear it, man, I fucking get in my shit, because it's like when you're in the lake of fire, and it's not even like anything like from a heat, fire type sense. It's when you're dwelling in your insecurities. It's when you know what I'm saying? When you allow the ego to take over and you don't even have the mental or the spiritual capacity to even fight against that. Or, you know what I'm saying, you're constantly replaying past traumas over and over and over, especially in the moments where you know something was going on and you went in to try to do some shit and fucking to at least rectify or protect somebody, and you're the one that gets in trouble. You're the one that's fucking gone and shit. Next thing you know, you're fucking stuck in a fucking cop car and shit and turned around fucking mad, livid, knowing that that shit is still happening when you're gone. I remember saying some shit like, evil spirits that's intensified seem to take over when I miss a step. Many people can testify that when you go through the shit and you didn't prep, this phase now won't be easy, because the words in your head look like bloody graffiti. No way to jot them down for this backyard rhyme, so I get drunk and shit till I get real sleepy. Some say I'm just too easy, okay. Walk around and ask yourself, if God said your time is up, do you really feel good about the cards you dealt? Did you do everything to help those in need, or did you only move thinking about yourself? You were just chasing paper trying to build your wealth, but never seemed to think about your mental health. My tape ain't on the shelf, it's cool. I can sit back, laying on my sofa, cause at this point I'm letting it out. Cause if it grows inside, it's a supernova. It's time for the cognac. Subtract negativity with cognac. Cause without it, I'll be out here alone. This gas spraying every motherfucker outside my pack. My son gon' follow my tracks? Hell nah, I can't teach him how to follow sin. I gotta be a better father, even though life's only getting way too harder. It's like trying to start a car with an old bad starter, or being short a tip trying to go to the barber. Dear God, I pray the negative that I still harbor, that you could turn around like it's Peter Parker. Let's go. It's to the point where it's like, when you just need to let the shit out. Like, I remember that day, man. My brother, man, his name's Alex. You know, we used to do some shit back in high school, man. But, you know, he hit me up in the studio talking about, let's do something. And I was like, all right, cool, like, let's go. But this was at the same moment that I was, like, fed up with shit. Fed up with life. And he fucking, you know what I mean? Like, took me in, and I fucking did my shit, and he was just there like, holy shit. You know what I mean? It's to the point where, like, if I can put one song, you know what I mean? Like, real shit, if I can make one song to listen to, like, for the rest of my life and shit, like, it'll probably be that one. And I have it on my YouTube, too, you know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all ever want to hear it. But shit, man. Y'all be good, be easy, stay out of trouble, man. Have a good rest of y'all's day, baby, alright? You know, feels good to fucking be out here, man. Do my thing, you know what I mean? And just, you know, hope all y'all's doing good out here, man. Like, I see everybody posting shit now, and the TikTok's back. You know, wouldn't be right for me if I didn't do one, you know what I mean? But man, I just hope she's doing good, man. Real shit. Y'all be good, baby, alright? Peace.